started in child's pose. Right, whatever it took for you to get here this morning. And for some of you, it might have taken something. It seems maybe that's the case. You're here now on your mat. Put your attention on your breath. With each breath, soften your body around your breathing. So you're breathing into softness. You're breathing into stillness. Wherever you want to go is perfect. And through softness and stillness, maybe you're sinking even more, grounding more into this space, this moment, this mat right here, right now. And with your next inhale, lift up to all fours, tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. Okay, with an inhale, stretch your chest forward, look forward, come into a dog tilt. And on the exhale, tuck your chin around your spine, belly button towards your spine. Inhale, heart forward, look forward. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. Do that a couple more times. So you can go at your own pace. So you might feel you want to breathe slower, deeper, move slower. Great. If you want to breathe quicker, move quicker, that feels right in your body right now, do that. As you move, really pay attention to the movement of your pelvis. So ability of your pelvis, your sitting bones to move up, and the ability of your sitting bones to move down. It's going to be different for everybody. Good. Come to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes into the mat, lift your knees, downward facing dog. Shift out to high plank. Set your hands under your shoulders, heels over the balls of your face. You're just setting your foundational length. And downward facing dog, press it back. Keep your hands and feet here. Okay. Bend your knees, roll your sitting bones up and back. So you've discovered your ability to do that in your cat dog tilts. Now set your eyes at the mat between your feet and breathe. Breath in, breath out, back out to high plank. Bend your elbows lower all the way down. Spider tip your fingers right where they're at. Spider tip. Take your hands wide. So like half off the mat, maybe all the way off the mat. Good. Shoulder blades on your upper back. So Christopher, you'll go all the way down, all the way to the floor with your belly. Good. Inhale, peel your chest up into cobra. And exhale, lower your head down to the floor. And inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, lower all the way down. Good. Do that 3 more times on your own. You can tuck your toes. Some of you have that. That's fine. You could untuck your toes and press all 10 toenails down. So especially the baby toe. The next time you're up, hold it. Hold it right here. Good. So hands press down and back. You're dragging your hands back a little bit. Upper back forward and up through your chest. Good. Take a big breath in and lower all the way down to the floor. So now we're setting up for up dog. Take your hands beside your ribs, right underneath your elbows. Untuck your toes. On the inhale, peel upward facing dog. And press your hips back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Blow the air out, look forward. Then walk your feet up to your hands. At the top of your mat, lift halfway up, create a long neutral spine, ragdoll pose. Eyes open and set to a point. Put your attention, focus your attention on your breath. Create an intentional foundation through your feet where all 4 corners of both foot press down into the floor. And as your feet press down, You can feel the result of the pit of your belly drawing up and in towards the front of your spine. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Push your feet down more. And on the inhale, rise all the way up. You could roll up. You could come with a flat back. Reach your arms high. Look up. Breathe in. Stretch. And exhale, hands to heart center. Set your eyes to a point. Set an intention for your practice. And we'll begin with 3 ohms. Inhale. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Bend your knees, forward fold, belly to the top of your thighs. Inhale, lift halfway up, neutral spine, and plant your palms, step back, high to low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in and out. Breath in, breath out. Last breath in. On the exhale, look forward. Move your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway up. Step back, high to low push up. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. So now we're moving and breathing together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. As you exhale, look forward, then move your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. In, out. In, out. Last in. Last out. Get ready. Move feet to hands. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Stretch your fingers up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay right on the edge with your breathing. As a skill that you're building, you're not going to want to do this. So if you think you're going to want to, give that up. Breathe together. Take your last breath in. Blow all the air out. Move feet to hands now. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up like you're ripping off a Band-Aid. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. So moving like that might mean you need to lower your knees or you need to modify. Then that's your practice today. Breathe together, move together in the way that you need to that works for your body. Last breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 1 breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, 5 breaths. Okay, so in the 5 breaths that you have here, everyone's feet look great. Take your hands to your hips and tip your hips back and forth like your cat dog tilt. So you'll tuck under and you'll tuck back. You'll kind of feel under, kind of doesn't feel too good. And then too far back doesn't feel too good either. Do that a couple times, forward and back. If you cannot move your pelvis, come up out of the squat to where you can. So that means it's just too deep for you. Come up a little bit higher. So you have the ability to do this with your pelvis. I see nobody doing it. So take your pelvis. Everyone's like, I'm just going to wait it out. She's not going to see. Hands to your hips and do this. Okay. I'm not looking at your crotch. I promise. Okay. Good. So you can move. Now find neutral. So it's not to this. It's not to that. It's where your low back feels free, happy, long. Great. Now keep neutral. Can you sit a little deeper? Now reach your arms up. Take a big breath in and forward fold. That's it. Inhale, lift halfway up, neutral pelvis, low push up, take it back. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, warrior one. Okay, hands to your hips. Can you do cat dog pelvis tilt? So if not, come out of the lunge a little bit. They don't have to be dramatic. So if it's just a little bit, perfect. Do a couple tilts and then find the in-between, not too far back, not too far under, where your pelvis feels right in the center with your spine. Then reach your arms up. Lift both sides of your body up away from your pelvis towards your ears. Take a breath in, hands to the floor, low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Left foot, warrior one. So you're discovering your pelvis in your warrior one today. Some of us tend to hang back. Some of us tend to push too far forward. I'm a forward pusher person. So you're going to find the perfect Goldilocks in between for your pelvis where your low back feels free, feels easy. Then reach your arms up. Press down through your feet. Take a big breath in, stretch up through your fingertips, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now 3 breaths, refocus on your breath. Trust your body's going to remember that. 2 more breaths. Last breath in, blow all the air out, move your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up and fold. Chair pose. Your neutral pelvis will be right there. Forward fold. Lift halfway. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. So your neutral pose will be there to whatever degree that's ready. Low push up, go. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. So 1 breath. Reach up. Low push up, go. Beautiful. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. So awakening to your ability to take action. You breathe, you move. Perfectly, imperfectly, doesn't matter. Take a breath in, blow all the air out, look forward, float, maybe feet to hands, halfway lifts, fold, chair pose, fold, halfway lifts, low push up, up dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Breathe in, low push up. Upward facing, downward facing dog, left side, warrior one. Step, reach, look up, hands to floor, low push up. Upward facing, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. It's going to feel fast if you're adding anything to it. It's nothing more than a breath in and a breath out. Here's your last breath in here. Blow all the air out, feet to your hands. Halfway lifts, fold, chair pose, forward fold. Halfway lifts, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right foot, right thumb, warrior one. Reach up, low push up. Up dog, down dog. Step your left foot straight forward, not back. Low push up. So start to catch all the extra that you're adding. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. We'll do 1 more. If you're looking for it to feel a certain way, you're looking at it to think a certain way, you're looking for a specific result in your body, the pose is what it is. Just breathe. Take a big breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair. Fold. Halfway lift. Feel the pose as it is. Low push-up. Feel the pose as it is. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot steps. Warrior one. Reach up. Low push-up. Up dog. Down dog. Left side. Warrior one. Reach. Low push-up. Helps to look at one point. Up dog. Look at one point. Downward facing dog. Look at one point. Take a breath in. Blow it out. Lift your right leg up and back. Bend your knee, open your hip, flip dog, go. Step off the right side of your mat. So you'll discover the pose as it shows up. Good. Right foot level with your left foot. So everyone, look down at your bottom hand, then look back at your heels. Are your two heels on the same line? A lot of you, your right heel is towards the front of your mat. Bring your right heel up level with your left. So a lot of you are still there with your heel back. What it's doing is squishing the right side of your body. Now we're getting it. Good. Now press your shins forward. Move your heel 2 inches more to the back of the room. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're going to feel like you're going to lose stability. You're not. You're probably going to get a wheel. So go 1 more inch with your right heel. Now touch the floor with your right hand. You're there. Yeah. Take a breath in, flip back, high plank, big toes touch, side plank. So where you are glued to the pose looking a certain way, you're glued in the pose, meaning the pose can't change anymore, right? And that's not what you showed up for. I'll just like venture a guess, you didn't show up for the glued pose. Take your top leg up, just see what happens. Yeah, perfect. Now 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath and shake, quake, fall, it's all good. 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up and back. Bend your knee, open, flip dog, go. So I see some of you like doing stuff with your left hand or whatever, the hand that's about to go off the floor, your hand's off the floor now. Right? So you could roll your wrist around and shake out your fingers if you need to. That hand isn't on the floor in this moment. So if you're not in the pose because of a hand that's not on the floor right now, you're not in the pose because of a hand that's not on the floor. You could be rolling your wrist out right here. Yeah, in this moment, take a breath and then flip back. High plank, side plank, face the right side of the room. Tanisha, good to see you. Not see you, but see your name on the screen. Tanisha, one of our teachers in York. Lift your top leg up. You could lower your bottom knee and then lift your top leg up. So you get creative about how you do it. Take 1 more breath in, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, crescent lunge. Reach your arms right up to the ceiling. So it could be cactus. If there's a way you're taking your arms, that's perfect. But take your arms up. Set your eyes to a point. Breathe. Okay. Big breath in. Hands to heart. Hinge forward. Revolved crescent twist to the right. Open your arms. Bottom hand can go inside your front foot. Bottom hand could go outside your front foot. Victoria, bring your hand inside your front foot. Could be block or not. Yep. And now shoulders straight back onto your upper back. Draw your front ribs into the center of your body. So balance those 2 actions of your shoulders going straight back and your front ribs hugging in. Take a breath in. Stay for the out. Inhale all the way up, warrior 2. Keep your front knee bent. Gaze over your front middle finger. Right here in this moment. And then notice like your knee can move, right? We got these joints, they move. So you can bend, you can straighten. Your back knee can move, your hips can move, your elbows, your shoulders, they can all move. So you can adapt the pose in such a way that you can stay. Take a breath in, tilt, extended side angle. It can be that as we come into a pose thinking it can only be one way, it actually causes us to hesitate. Like we don't come to the pose because we can't do the pose the way we think we should do it. Give up the thinking, step into the pose as it is right now, and then just feel, breath by breath, your body in this pose right now. Take one more breath in, 2 hands to the floor, low push up. If you didn't get everything you wanted out of it, it's over. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side crescent lunge. Arms up. Set your gaze to a point. Breathe in, crescent twist to the left side. Nothing to get right. Your body's already doing it right. Open your arms. Shoulders straight back. So if you can't do that with your arm on the outside of your bottom foot, take your arm on the inside of your bottom foot. 2 more breaths. Shoulders straight back. Breath in. Breath out. Warrior 2 on the inhale. Land it. Nice, Judy. Set your gaze. Just see where you are. Focus on a point, a physical point. Could be your fingernail, could be the front of the room. See a physical point in the room. Feel your body in the pose. Take a breath in. Tilt, extended side angle. So you've got 5 breaths, and in those 5 breaths, feel it out. If something about the pose is not working, so quite a few of you, it looks like you might be feeling pinching in your left hip. If you have that, lift your torso up a couple inches and draw the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. Then everyone take a breath in, 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, blow the air out, look forward, jumper step, feet to your hands, lift halfway up, fold down. Chair pose, sit back, reach high, prayer twist to the right side. Can you do pelvic tilts here? So if not, lift your torso up higher. Your butt can stay the same amount, but lift your chest away from your thighs a bit. Yeah. Now find neutral pelvis. Press your neutral pelvis sitting bones back towards the back edge of your mat. And press the top of your head forward towards the front of the room. Take a breath in, a breath out, chair pose, fold, fingers to toes, forward fold. Good. Great pose here to check in on your pelvis again. Bend your knees a lot. Can you do cat dog tilts with your pelvis? Yeah, bend your knees. Keep your knees bent. So everyone do that and then do the tilts. Can you do the tilts? And if not, bend your knees more. Take your feet wider. Once you've kind of found that happy middle for your pelvis, rest in the feeling of your pelvis being neutral. Take a breath in, blow the air out, chair pose, sit back, reach high, twist to the left side. Good. Neutral pelvis. So that neutral pelvis will leave you. Diana's got a little extra. Will leave you. You could do forward fold now, Diana, because I saw that you did the side already. You can adapt like that. Your neutral pelvis will have space on the front of your hips for you. If you're taking bird of paradise, square your pelvis off. Yeah, so you might keep your right knee bent to work your right hip down next to your left hip. Good. Now everyone take one more breath in. Blow all the air out. Chair pose on the inhale and fold. Step onto your palm. So especially if your low back feels cranky, bend your knees and do cat dog tilts. So I'm watching you guys make faces and it hurts my heart. I don't want your low back to hurt. And I'm giving you a tool and a lot of you aren't taking it. Bend your knees, open your feet up, do cat dog tilts with your pelvis. If you can't do them, bring your forearms up to your thighs. So you could be here. And a lot of you are going to have to give up some ego. Like, dude, what? I have to be here? Yes, you have to be here. Now breathe. I'm speaking strongly because I want this to work for you. Take 2 more breaths. Soften around your breath. 1 more. Drop your hands if they're up, crow pose at the top of your mat. Knees to the outsides of your upper arms, feet together. Beautiful. 5 breaths. 3 more. Keep your eyes to a point. 2 more. Last breath in. Feet to the back of your mat. Low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Blow the air out. Look forward. Float your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up and fold. Stand all the way up. Extended mountain pose. Eagle pose on the right side. Neutral pelvis. Step down, reach up, take a breath. Left side. If you're still thinking about 2 or 3 poses ago, can you bring your attention right here, this moment, and breathe with what's happening here? Take 1 more breath. Step down, reach up, right side eagle pose. Now, if you've got neutral pelvis and can go deeper, squat a little bit deeper. Explore a new edge. Good. Step down, reach up, left side. If you go deeper and lose neutral, come halfway back up. Good. Step down, reach up, breathe in. Standing leg raise, right side. So start by bending your right knee, catch your right knee with 2 hands, draw your right knee up. Neutral pelvis. Beautiful. You can stay here or catch your right big toe and extend your right knee. And extending could be different. It might just be a couple degrees. It might be a straight leg. Take a breath in, bend your right knee again, kick your right leg towards the back of the room, airplane pose. Neutral pelvis here. Bring your hands to heart center, pause. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Take a breath in. On the exhale, lower your left hand down as you turn your right hip up over your left hip. If you reach the floor, cool. If you don't reach the floor, a block under your hand. Yeah, Nikki, just like the lowest block setting. Good. Now press all 4 corners of your front foot, standing foot on the floor. Nikki, bend your standing knee a little bit more. If that knee bent, now press your big toe mound down. Work right there for 2 more breaths. Yeah. Take one more breath in, 2 feet to the floor and fold. All the way down, bend your knees, take a breath, blow it out, stand up on the inhale, standing leg raise the left side. Grab your left knee, draw your left knee high, start with your knee. Good. So especially those who are flexible, you'll be able to do this and come down to where 2 hips are level. And you're not likely to be able to do it while your leg is straight. Bend a little bit. Good. Now set the square, keep that, then start to straighten the leg. If your bottom foot starts to come off the ground, bend your knee again, re-foundation. Not getting anywhere. We're not trying to get anywhere. You're right here. Take one more breath, bend your left knee, kick your left leg back, airplane pose. Bend your standing knee until all 4 corners of the front foot press down. Be willing to bend your knee a lot. Bring your hands to heart center, left hand to your left hip, airplane pose. Breathe, 3 deep breaths. Take one more breath in, 2 feet to the floor and fold. Beautiful. If you're using a strap for dancer pose, grab your strap. On the inhale, rise up. Dancer pose on the right side. Come right into it. Bend your right knee, catch your right ankle. So dancer is both hands overhead. Standing bow is catching with your right hand. That's it. Palm facing the cubbies. Beautiful. And then kick your left shin towards the back. Reach your left arm forward towards the front of the room. Bend your standing knee. Bend your standing knee until all 4 corners of your front foot can push down. Take a breath in and step out. Change sides. Left side dancer, left side standing bow. Breathe. Good. 2 more. Take your last breath in and step all the way out. 2 feet at the top of your mat for 1 breath. Right side, dancer or standing bow. Come right into it. And it might mean the next pose looks different. Actually, it means the next pose looks different. It's a different pose. Set your eyes, come into this pose. Bend your standing knee. Bend your standing knee. Be willing, yeah. Now lift your standing toes and press. Good. Now you have your foot. Relax your right hip down. That's it. Now breathe right there. You don't have to go anywhere else in there. Give yourself permission to stay. Just breathe. 1 more breath in. Beautiful. Step out. Left side, dancer or standing bow. Bend your knee, catch and go. Set your gaze. Breathe, cultivate your breath, even, slow, deep, and create an intentional foundation with your standing foot. Take 1 more breath in and then step down. 2 feet at the top of your mat, tree pose. Right foot to your left inner thigh. Foot can be to your right inner shin as well. Jenna's got that. Steph's got that. Perfect. Press your palms together at the center of your heart. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Set your gaze. Beautiful breathing. Good. Press your foundation and then watch for heat. Mental heat, emotional heat, physical heat. The heat is a sign that the yoga is working. Take a breath in, step down, change sides. Left side. In my years of teaching and training teachers, had a lot of people come through yoga telling me that the point is to calm everything down. The point is that you face yourself right where you're at in this moment, all the feelings, all the thoughts, all the physicality, and you create calm with that as it is. Can you be the source of your calm, even when you're balancing on one leg, even when you're being asked to do something that feels uncomfortable? Can you create the equanimous space within yourself and for everyone else around you? Take one more breath in, 2 feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Low push up, take it back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands, triangle pose, left arm towards the ceiling. Good. So for most of us, a block outside the right hand. If you've been bending your knees all this time, bend your front knee. Bend your front knee more. You're so flexible. So bend your knee. I have a body like you. Turn your front toes to that 12. Good. Now keep that bend. As you press your foot, watch for your bottom sitting bone to move back. Not your knee so much, but that bottom sitting bone. So it's right through here. This moves to the back. Good. That's it. Now 2 breaths. At the edge of the pose, you just breathe. Take one more breath in. Blow all the air out. Stand up. Turn your 10 toes towards the window wall if you're in studio. It's the left wall if you're at home. Fold. Side facing, wide-legged forward fold. In my own practice lately, I can do handstands. I can do headstands out of this. And I've noticed that over time, like I've just not been enjoying the simplicity of side facing, wide-legged forward fold. And I've really been enjoying just folding. So if that is a permission slip for you, take it. If you're called into that inversion, go there. Good. If your legs are in the air, yep, strong legs, Nikki, stretch all the way out. Take your legs wide to come back down. Super active through your thighs and your feet. Excellent. With your hands on the floor, if they're not there, place your hands on the floor. Inhale, lift halfway up, and we'll set up for lizard pose. So you'll turn to the front of your mat. Hands on the front, right foot to the right edge of your mat. Drop your back knee down. So it's like a low lunge position. Front foot, turn that to the right. So those of you who do split, we're going there. So I'll give you the heads up, we're going in that direction. We're going to open up the front of your left hip a little bit more before we go into that big of an opening. So your right toes, turn them to the right. Lift the arch of your front foot and let your knee flop out. Perfect. You can stay on your hands and stay here. Drop your hips down and forward. So what I look for in my own body is my heart above my hips enough that my hips can drop down and forward. When I go here in my body, my chest now goes below my hips and everything is in my back now. So set it up that your hips are below the level of your heart. And breathe. Can you soften the front of your left hip as much as possible? Yeah, Christopher, come more forward with your hands and with your foot. That's it. And then can your back foot go more towards the back of your mat? That's it. That's it right there. Okay, give that one more breath, softening the left front hip. And then inhale, take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Can you allow your left hip to drop down and forward even more? So you're bringing a melting quality to the front of your left hip. So if you're there and you feel spicy, like you could do more, bend your back knee. You can catch the top of your back foot. Hug the back foot up towards your bum cheek. And you might even then add a back bend where you're leaning back with your upper body. Soft. Give that one more breath. Blow it out and I'll come all the way up. Here comes the split. So you'll plant your front foot. With your front foot planted, crawl your front foot forward. Good. So you'll do this to keep your hips square. What you're avoiding is like the cheerleader hip open setup, what you are creating instead are square hips, right? So plant your foot, come out so your hips are square. Good. And my flexible friend here, bend your front knee a lot more, shorten it a lot more, turn your back hip up and forward. Good. Now you could work there or lift your front toes and start to eke your heel forward, keeping your hips square. Excellent. Take 3 more breaths. Let me check the screen. Judy looks good. 2 more breaths. Here's your last breath in. Blow the air out. Downward facing dog, press it back. And you can just float back to it. Right? Take a breath in. Blow the air out. Step your left foot between your hands, triangle pose. Meet the pose as it meets you today. All right, so you may have taken this pose 1,000 times. 1,000 times before. You might have a sense like, I do this. When I come, I do this, I adjust that, I lengthen this, I know my body. Can you give all that up and discover your body as it exists right now? And what do you not know about your body that you could discover right now? What is there undiscovered that through listening, experiencing, and this pose specifically, you could discover? Take a breath in, blow the air out, stand all the way up, toes face the right side of the room, fold with a bind. So interlace your fingers behind your back. You can use a strap if you need it, if you discover you need it. I'm in the habit of just grabbing the strap because it's like what I do. I'll grab the strap because there was one practice where it really worked well. And so I've just done like 20 practices with the strap. This morning, I was like, maybe I don't need the strap. And I took the pose and I didn't need the strap. But you can go years with a strap, never questioning, do I actually need the strap anymore? Good, drop your head. And of course, if you need it, you need it. And you only know as you get present. Take a breath in, blow the air out, hands to your waist, hands to the floor, lizard pose, face the front of the room. Left toes to the left, lift the arch of your left foot, drop your knee out to the left side. Yeah, and you can even add, whether you're on your palms or your forearms, as you press down, you can even drag your forearms or your hands back a little bit and use that to coax your hip down and forward more, like a little self-assist. Good. Add the twist, left arm to the ceiling. Can you let your right hip drop down and forward even more? That's it, Christopher. Good. If you can, bend your back knee, catch your back foot with your top hand. Could be another moment for a strap. You can use a strap to catch your back foot. Deep, deep breaths. Especially in the tight spots. Can you breathe deep? Keep your eyes set and soft. Take 1 more breath in. Blow it out. 2 hands on the floor. 12 o'clock, your front foot, sole of your front foot to the floor. Now crawl your foot forward. If you get to the point where like your foot can't go any more forward with the sole down and you have more to go, lift your toe and you can start pressing your heel forward. Wherever you go, keep your front thigh firm and breathe deep. Really good. 2 more breaths. So cool to look across room and see everyone in different stages of the same pose. Blow all the air out right where you're at. Plant your hands, take it back, downward facing dog. In the downward dog, take 1 breath in. Blow all the air out. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in. Yeah. Breathe out. Come out to high plank. and lower it all the way down to the floor. Locust pose. Stretch your palms back. Flip your palms down. On the inhale, lift your heart, lift your legs, come up. Create energy in your feet. Ignite your feet by opening your toes up, spreading your toes, spread the soles of your feet out. Take one more breath in and lower all the way to the floor. Ear to the mat for one breath. It's all you need. And then set up locust. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press your knuckles back. Heart forward, toes up and back. Breathe. Turn your inner thighs up towards the ceiling. Good. And your baby toes down towards the earth. Breath in. Lower it all the way down. Opposite ear to the mat. Next up is floor bow. Bend your knees. Catch the top of your ankles. Gather your knees into the middle of your mat. Kick your shins for the back of the robe. Soften your eyes, soften your face. So soften your forehead, soften your jaw, soften your approach. Breath in and lower all the way to the floor. We got one more. Take your breath, set it up, second set, go. Discover this pose, your body, your experience through the window of this pose. Two more breaths. Squeeze your knees into midline. Keep hugging in for the last breath in and lower it all the way down to the floor. Good. Plant your palms beside your lowest rib. Inhale, upward facing dog. Peel your chest up high. Downward facing dog. Press it back. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Drop to your knees. We're going to sit up for camel pose. We're going to try something a little bit different. So as you sit up, look up front real quick. I'll show you what we're going to do. The first one, you'll try it out, see what you think. You can take it on the second one if you dig it. And if you don't, you got your old camel you can go right back to. Nothing wrong with the old camel. Love the old camel. Okay. So you're going to start sitting on your heels like a high hero position. If you have a block, put the block between your thighs. Okay. So you'll watch and then we'll do. And do the thinnest setting. It would be my recommendation, whatever the thinnest setting on your block is. So from your sitting, you're going to take your hands flat behind your feet. So you're kind of tipped back this way. From this position, look down the front of your chest. You're going to press your toenails, your shins, your knees into the mat, the floor, squeeze the block, and take your hips up as high as you can. If you're okay here, you can drop your head back. Okay, so give that a shot. Block between the thighs. Judy's got it, perfect. Toenails down, shins down, knees down. Now lift your hips up as high as you can off of your feet. Press your hands down, press your shins down. Take two more breaths. One more breath, and then sit all the way down onto your heels. Cool. So you can do that one, or you can take camel as you know it, high up on your knees. Okay? So choose, and then go. Second set, camel pose. I like this one too. It's teaching you how to drive up in the wheels that are coming. You got it. Now really press. Feet down, shins down, knees down. Press your hips up away from your feet. Take one more breath in and sit all the way down onto your heels. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Press back. Take a breath in and out. Look at your hands, step or float to a seat, lie onto your back, bridge pose. So you get to put that tool right into action here. As you bend your knees, plant your feet, lift your hips up. And now it's that action of driving your feet down the same way you just drove your shins down. Moves up towards the ceiling. And then breathe right there. Awesome breathing. Jill, Tanisha, Laura, Judy, I don't know if you could hear it in the studio. You probably can't. The breathing is so good. Create that for yourself at home, like the walls shake with your breathing here. Ignite that up. Give it one more breath, and then come all the way down to the floor. Get a breath on the floor, 6 wheels. We're gonna go right in for 5 counts. Okay, so right up, right down, 6 times 5 counts. Set your hands, set your feet. Inhale, rise up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin, come down. Take a breath in. Blow the air out. You've got this. Open your eyes. So, number 2, 5, 4, 3, 2. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. Breath in, breath out. See a point? Go. Number 3. This is Vinyasa. 5, 4, 3, 2. Tuck your chin, come down. Take a breath in. You've got this. Blow it out. Number 4, go. Right up. 5, 4, 3, 2. Tuck your chin, come down. You got 2 to go. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Go right up. It's really like ripping off the Band-Aid. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin. This is the last one. Get breath, set your focus, and go. 5, you know what you're up to. 4, move in that direction. 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin. Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana. The pillars of our practice, drishti, breath, foundation, and heat, right? They're all super tangible. Vinyasa is one of those things that seems intangible. And I've heard it described as like you move and breathe together, or it's point A to point B without resistance. The way it makes sense to me, it's focusing on where you're going and you just go. Just go. The default is hesitating, thinking, analyzing, doubting, second guessing. You showed up to a practice, you showed up committed to something. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Dead bug pose. And they'll be like, I don't want to. I could just stay here forever. I could stay in dead bug, or I could stay in Supta Baddha for like another 2 minutes. That would be nice. And can you just go? Dead bug pose time. Good. Legs straight up to the ceiling. Sit onto your hands. Take a breath in. Lower your right foot to hover. Stay, breathe in. Exhale, switch your legs. Stay, breathe in. Exhale, switch your legs. Do that for 30 seconds. So with your breath, you're changing sides. Every exhale, use it like a corset. So your exhales, you squeeze your torso into your spine as tight as you can. You're stabilizing your center, your spine, your core as your legs move and change positions. Good, 10 more seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, both legs up. Take a breath in. Lower your legs a third. Blow all the air out. Tighten. Take a breath in. Lower a little bit more. Tighten. Take a breath in. Lower a little bit more. Tighten. Look up at your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs go up. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock and roll 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Downward facing dog on the third one. So not the fourth, not the second. 1, 2, 3. Downward facing dog. I know, like 4 would be good. 5 would be good. That water looks really good. I have all that. Come out to high plank. Yeah, some of you know what we're doing. High plank. Take your thumbs together at the middle of your mat. Take your feet to the sides of your mat. Okay, now plank. So shoulders right over top of your wrists. Heels right over top of the balls of your feet. Take the hump out of your upper back. So you're going to press the top of your head forward, tighten your abdominal muscles up. So already my whole body is shaking. Okay, so you got that. Take your right hand, touch your left shoulder. Can you keep your hips and shoulders level? Ooh. Okay, switch. Okay, switch. Okay, switch. So if you can do that and stay pretty stable, doesn't really matter what it feels like. If you can stay stable, go faster. Yeah, Diana, tighten your legs up. And now go. Yes. If your hips are rocking, tighten your leg muscles to the bone. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7. What can you do? 6. Can you go faster? 5, 4, 3, 2. Downward facing dog. That's 1. Take a breath in. Blow the air out. Half pigeon on the right side. Okay, bring your right knee up behind your right wrist, ankle behind your left wrist. And fold over your front shin. That's it. Keep your eyes open. This part of the practice where it's so tempting to treat it like go to sleep time. Check back in on what you're committed to. What was the intention you set? Why did you get up and come here? Put your focus on that commitment and do it. Each breath, whether it's building strength, or it's bringing ease, or it's discovering a new edge, or it's generating health, quality of life, spiritual connection, whatever it is that you showed up for in your practice, create it with each breath that you take. Good. Switch sides. And I'll tell you the way that I take that on in my practice, because that seems like, how do I do that? If I'm like for strength, I don't know how to do that here. If someone were looking at you and they didn't know what it was, whatever your intention was, you would teach them what it was by the way that you're here. If you were to show someone what strength is, and this is the only pose you had, how would you communicate that to them with no words, just your way of being? Whatever your intention is, how would you communicate that to someone who doesn't know what it means, where you can't use words, it's just your way of being? And take one more breath. And then come all the way up to sitting, seated, no, double pigeon, right shin on top. And bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And just discover what that looks like today. So if that's a tight fit, So that either means like your ankle doesn't make it, or you've got like your ankle is doing a bend to be here. You can take a block and place that in front with your ankle on the block. So your ankle can stay at 12 o'clock. Cool. If you can get there, great. Then you might either sit back. So I know I take a couple breaths this way. And this is to get your sitting bones down. If you're in a position where everything's kind of tucked underneath, here's where you get your sitting bones onto the floor. Good. After a couple breaths, you might be able to sit up tall. After a couple breaths, you might be able to begin folding forward. As you fold, is your pelvis going with you, or is it all through your back? What you're looking for is the fold coming from your pelvis gliding around your femur bones, your thigh bones, to tip your spine forward. You can, as I'm doing, reach back, touch the bottom of your spine, and even see as you go, is that part of my spine lifting up as I go forward? If it's not, you just know that it's coming from your back rounding. Give that one more breath. And then sit all the way up, switch your legs. Good. And you could use a block right here. Try that out. And you would put it, like that. You can even bring it more forward. And can you bring your thighs more towards the middle of your mat? This could even come more forward than that, like that. How does that feel in your hips? Good. Okay. Can you flex this ankle a little bit more? That's it. So the ankle flex, just make sure everything is going into your hip muscles rather than into the outer side of your ankle. When I was younger and really into like running sports, I used to roll my ankles all the time. And it was really getting intentional about keeping my ankles like this in these poses. I haven't rolled my ankle or tripped on something for probably like 5 or 6 years now. And I have kids' toys all over the floor. I like do that all the time. When I think of like how many rolled ankles or like not good falls I would have had at this point, tripping on kids' toys that I missed because of my ankle stability, it's like those moments I'm glad for this practice. When I was in my 30s, I didn't care. Not like my goal is to not fall and trip on things. That was not it. It's just one of those things you're walking around and be like, wow, I'm not doing what I used to do. And I'm noticing a benefit. I don't get really mad at my kids when stuff's around because I'm not going to fall and hurt myself. My husband might, but I don't. Give that one more breath. Good. Sit it all the way up. Seated wide-legged forward fold. Take your legs out like a wide letter V. Toes up towards the ceiling. Start with a tall spine, sitting bones on the floor. If they don't reach the floor like this, sit on a block and then fold. Get all the fold you can out of your hips first. If it feels okay after that, you can start to round your back now. So if you're working with anything like a herniated disc or a rod or something where you're not supposed to be rounding your back, you would just stick with the pelvic movement. Yeah, and then if you're rounding, let that round go all the way up the back of your skull. Good, Dalila. Two more breaths. Now, with your next inhale, come all the way up to sitting. Bring your legs together. Lie back onto your back. If you have a strap or a towel, take it with you. If you don't, that's fine. So once you're lying on your back, hug your right knee into your chest. 12 o'clock, your left foot. So all left toes turn up to the ceiling. Take 2 breaths here. Really squeeze your right knee up and get your thighs close to your right waist as you can. Cool. And then extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. So if you have a strap, strap the arch of your right foot, the transverse arch. So that's the big toe mound, the baby toe mound. It's not the arch. When we talk about like high arches, it's not the middle of your foot. It's like that bridge right underneath your toes. Good. If you don't have a strap and you're flexible enough to reach it, you can do that. If you don't have a strap and you're not flexible enough to reach it, just catch your thigh. A lot of you have that, which is great. Take a breath in. Now on the exhale, can you draw your foot towards the space behind your head? Can you do that and keep the back of your right hip on the floor? Take 3 breaths. Soften your ribs in towards center. The back of your ribs connect to the floor. One more breath in. Blow the air out. Good. Unstrap your foot. Hug your right knee up into your chest. And then switch. Right leg goes long. Hug your left knee up into your left shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. Let's say 3 to just squeeze your thigh up towards the left side of your waist. So your check, is the back of your left ribs on the floor? Both sides of your ribs, really. Is the back of your pelvis on each side on the floor? Got that? Extend your left leg up. Strap the foot or catch the foot. Keep both hips level as you draw the foot back towards the space behind you. Is it okay if I assist you a little bit? So draw this bit down. Soften your knee a little bit more. Soften a little bit more. Yep. This comes down here. Good. Now, can you keep that side there as I let go? Yes. Give it one more breath. Blow it out. Unstrap. Hug your left knee into your left shoulder. Good. Stretch both legs down the front of your mat. Fish pose. So if you want to stick a block in between your shoulder blades, you can do that. If you want to take traditional fish, you're pressing your forearms down, slide up onto the top of your head. Good. Point your toes towards the front of the room, whichever version you're taking, and turn your inner thighs down towards the floor. So active legs. As your big toes press forward, stretch your chest up and back towards the wall behind you. If you have the block, it's like you're stretching up and over the block, just grazing the top of the block. Take 3 more deep breaths, all the way up into your collarbones, all the way up into a soft throat. Breathing up into a soft face, soft jaw, soft forehead. One more breath in. Open your mouth, blow it out. If you have the block, catch your head with your hand, roll to the side. If you don't have a block, tuck your chin, lie down, set up for an inversion. So it's shoulder stand. If you're playing with something else, do that at the back of your mat. Like headstand, handstand, forearm stand. If you're taking shoulder stand, go to plow first. So feet to the floor behind your head. You take plow first to set your foundation up. Especially considering a lot of your foundation, some of your foundation involves your neck. You want a very strong, solid foundation here. So from your plow, hands to your mid-back. Rock side to side and work your shoulders all the way underneath your body as tight as you can. The ideal is that your spine, your upper back is totally up inside your body. Not even one of your vertebrae are on the floor. So everything in your upper back is pulled up and off the floor. Now take your legs up towards the ceiling. Drive your upper arms down. Drive your toes up. Take your feet towards your hips. Keep going, keep going. So you're flexible enough that you really have to stack. Good, right there. Now, if you can take your hands away, you can take them away now, but don't let your feet go back that way. Drive your upper arm bones down. Take 3 more breaths. When lining up in shoulder stand, you'll discover there's a lot more strength building involved in setting it up this way than just kind of flopping your feet over your head. Good. If you are in shoulder stand, come to plow. Feet towards the floor behind you. Continue to press your upper arms down and reach your hips away from you in plow pose. There's still like that resisting your spine rounding action. Take a breath. Now bend your knees, Deaf Yogi. Now you round. Allow the front of your pelvis to curl down towards your face. Draw the pit of your belly back towards the back side of your body. And from Deaf Yogi, stretch your arms down the mat. Roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Get all the way down to the floor. Once you're down, bend your knees, plant your feet, take your feet wide to the sides of your mat. We'll do one last little, this is one of my favorite moves. Lisa Taylor does this all the time. This is where I learned this one. Take your feet wide. Some of you already know it. I see you doing it. Drop your right knee in towards the middle of your mat. Good. And you're going to allow your hips to move. As you look down the front of yourself, watch that your right thigh points straight forward to the front of the room. So some of you, even I guess foot off the mat would be the better lineup. Good. So you can stay just like that. If that's a lot kind of going on in your hip, cool. If you want more, you can stack your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Yeah. You can flop your arms out to the side. You got it, Jenna. Let your right, is this your right foot? Your right arch come up. So it's like this foot, that's it, like that. And if it's too much, you don't have to stack. Breathe. Allow your hip to come up, your right hip to come up. So you're not forcing your right hip to stay down. If your hip wants to come up, let it come up. You might feel this in the front of your right hip. You might feel this in your right lower back. You might feel this in the right side psoas. You might feel it in your, sometimes I get it more in my QL on the right side. Give that 1 more breath. Good. And then gently draw your right knee back up. You might need a hand to help you do that. And you'll switch sides. Left foot off the left side of your mat. Drop your left knee in. Assess. One side is not necessarily going to respond the same way as another side. And if you feel that it's appropriate, right ankle on your left thigh. If you're bringing your ankle to your thigh, aim for your mid thigh. Some of you are on your knee. It's just a little too much pressure on your knee, likely. So you can get up onto your mid thigh area. If you feel this in your knee, take your foot off your thigh. Just breathe. Feel what you feel. And gently come back to center. Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a breath in. Exhale through your mouth. And straighten your legs, Shavasana. Rest. We take mostly the same poses every class in order to discover that they're never actually the same poses, because we're never the same. Feel into your body right now as the echo, as a remembering how you felt walking in 90 minutes ago. That's how quickly you change. You discovered today that that shift comes not from thinking about it, but by taking action, doing something. And so now the doing is done. Okay, take a deep breath in. Blow it out through your mouth. Do 2 more breaths like that. And then slowly hug your knees up into your chest. Roll to your right side. If your eyes were closed, keep them closed. If your eyes were closed, keep them closed. If you can close them, comfortable close them now. Press up to a seated position. And we're going to do a short meditation before we close. So knowing that you're going to sit for just a moment or two longer than normal, you might want to use a block to sit on. And once you've created your seat, possibly with a block, sit up through a tall, light spine. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. Roll your shoulders up and onto your back. So your chest is wide, your upper back is wide. Good. Now notice your next 5 breaths. If it's hard for you to notice your breathing, you can place your hands on your belly and feel your belly move when you breathe as a way to tap in. Okay. Now take your attention from your breath to your feet, the feeling of your feet. If it's hard to notice your feet, you can touch your feet. Take 1 breath, noticing your feet. And then your shins. You could touch your shins if you need to. Take 1 breath and notice your shins. Now your thighs. 1 breath. Feel the clothing touching your thighs. Feel the sensation in your thighs. Now your pelvis. 1 breath. Now your abdomen, belly to your low back. 1 breath. Feel the whole circumference of your abdomen. Your rib cage for 1 breath. Front, sides, back. Your shoulders, right and left, for 1 breath. Your upper arm, shoulder to elbow on each side, 1 breath. Your lower arm from elbow to wrist on each side, 1 breath, just notice. Now your right and left hand, 1 breath. Good. Now notice your throat, your neck for 1 breath. Notice your head, your face, your skull for 1 breath. From your hips down to your feet, your lower half, notice that for 1 breath. Nothing that you have to feel or experience, just what are you experiencing? And then from your hips up to your head, your upper half, check in 1 breath. Now notice your whole body, from your feet all the way up to your head for 5 breaths. Rest your attention, your awareness on the physical feeling of your whole body. As whole, perfect, complete, not looking for anything, not creating anything, not imagining anything. Just what is here right now. Now, if you can, rest your attention on your whole body. Bring your hands together to the center of your heart. With your attention on your whole body, set an intention for the rest of your day and consider it's already there. Your body already has it. This is what we're up to. You just give it a word. Set that. We'll close practice with 3 final ohms. Take a breath in. Ah. Lift your thumb goes up to the center of your forehead. Thank you, each one of you, for coming. Thank yourself for coming up and showing up for yourself. It's inspiring to me to see people who are willing on a weekend to show up into a space, to challenge themselves, to grow themselves in order to be better people in the world. Thank you for being that. You inspire me to be more of that. And together, take a deep breath in, blow it out through your mouth. And together we say, namaste. Namaste. Great job this morning, everybody.